up everybody? Hey, I'm glad NBA being crazy the last couple of days. Traded Luka, now De'Aaron Fox to the Spurs. Stuff getting crazy. But hey, let's react to this thing you're talking about it though. Let's get straight into it, huh?
Get right into the trade. I'm actually surprised how quickly the De'Aaron Fox trade to San Antonio materialized, especially because of the third team that's involved that I don't think anyone was anticipating or expecting. However, this is how the trade breaks down. The Spurs are going to receive De'Aaron Fox and Jordan McLaughlin, basically D-Fox. The Kings receive Zach LaVine.
See? Well, no, other niggas just feel like him. Remember how he feels. It's like nobody really cares about you type bitch. You don't even care about him. I like him. I like him. It's like, damn. I don't like it. Watch these and then just be like, damn. I don't just say it like that, nigga. Like, chill.
3 first-round picks and 3 second-round picks, and then the Bulls receive for Zach LaVine, Zach Collins, Trey Jones, Kevin Huerter, and they just received their own 2025 pick back from San Antonio. So the first thing that comes to my mind is someone needs to check on Kenny. Like right now, somebody needs to check on Kenny because I did not think, and out of all the teams that could have occurred in this 3-team trade, I did not believe that Zach LaVine would have been the piece to make this transaction work, to get the gears going for De'Aaron Fox to end up in San Antonio, because I didn't believe that Chicago was going to receive such a piss-poor return. Zach Collins, Trey Jones, Kevin Huerter, and your own draft pick back this year? That's all you got in return? Be very mindful that LaVine is playing the best basketball we've seen out of him, maybe in his entire career, but certainly in the last couple of seasons. 24 points, like 4 or 5 rebounds, 4 or 5 assists, whatever those numbers are. Shooting splits of like 51, 45, 80, in those ballparks.
Damn.
But more importantly,
bro,
he's playing games. 42 games played out of the first 50 so far this season. That was the biggest question mark for him. And so even though, yes, you can still argue that he's not living up to the $40-some million he's getting paid, he's certainly getting closer to it. And there's so many teams now that we've gone throughout halfway through the season who reek of desperation that I would have thought that you would have been able to at least match this offer, if not give more. Oh my God, they didn't even get their own first round back. Sacramento didn't even get their own first round back. Oh my God. It's not really 3 first rounders. This Charlotte pick, without a doubt, is going to be 2 second rounders. That's a lottery protected pick. It's going to translate into 2 second rounders because it's not going to convey. So they basically really only got 2 first rounders, one of which is from San Antonio in 2027. But San Antonio now has De'Aaron Fox. So that pick, is not going to be of value. Best thing right now, Sacramento is crossing their fingers, hoping for that Minnesota implodes on themselves and Anthony Edwards wants out. If you're the Spurs, you came out with a lick. No Vassell, no Castle. All your picks that you have, you really only gave up 2 first rounders that are valuable. One of which is your own pick that won't be that valuable because you're going to be of substance in 2 years now that you have De'Aaron Fox. You already own some of Sacramento's picks. You didn't even give those back except for a 2028 second rounder. I want to make sure I preface this just so we're all clear about what just is occurring. So when I tell you all how much of a loser,
damn. But why would Sacramento even take this though? Because Andrew DeRozan and Zach LaVine already play together. That don't even make no sense. They see it and translate to winning that much. It's like, why would they even do it again? That didn't make no sense. It's like, do they have a bigger play? They have to. They have to have a bigger play, nigga.
2 franchises are in this. It's ridiculous. The Spurs, again, got De'Aaron Fox while keeping a slew of draft capital. 6 out of their 7 picks, 2 unprotected from Atlanta, pick swaps from Atlanta in 2026, pick swap from Boston, pick swap from the more favorable one from Dallas and Minnesota in 2030, and still was able to keep the rights to the pick swap for Sacramento in 2031. Oh, shout out to the Spurs. This rights to pick swap for Sacramento in 2031. Oh, shout out to the Spurs. This right here is A plus 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 plus
traded.
A plus 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 to the highest order of being plus. The Bulls have traded DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, and Alex Caruso for Josh Giddey, Kevin Huerter, Zach Collins, Trey Jones, Chris Duarte, 2 second-round picks, and the rights to their own 2025 pick from the Spurs. Not one additional first-round pick for DeMar, Zach LaVine, and Alex Caruso. Not one additional first-round pick. Mark Stein says, league sources say the Warriors did seriously explore trade constructions that would have brought Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic, Big Vooch, to the Bay before Golden State opted to focus on other trade pursuits. Oh. What other trade pursuits?
Exactly. They're getting LeBron on, man.
What other trade?
They're getting LeBron.
Jimmy, y'all better have gotten LeBron. Because, let's call a spade a spade. I would rather have Zach LaVine than Jimmy Butler on my roster anyway. Jimmy is mad old. Bro, I'm going to tell you right now, chat, I'm not even joking. If the Warriors pulled out on a potential Zach LaVine trade, knowing what the Bulls basically got in return for Zach LaVine.
So they getting the next guy, a nice tall guy, like a guy. So they get a guy. He should be able to guy type this. Then they get Nacho set him. Look at that, he's great.
And I know for a fact the Warriors could have beaten that offer. If they pulled out on a Zach LaVine trade to go after Jimmy Butler, it's done. If you are a Warriors fan, it's done. You have to stop rooting for that franchise. I want everyone to be very, very mindful. Where we started off throughout this entire process was that we're not willing to give Klay Thompson the contract that he's looking for because it didn't make any financial sense. But we're going to turn around and give it to Jimmy Butler? We're not willing to leverage our future for Zach LaVine or Lauren Marketing, but we're going to do it for Jimmy Butler? We're laughing at the Kings. Hey, chat, I got y'all on the screen now. We're Jimmy Future for Zach LaVine.
The Warriors, as of Sunday, can continue to be regarded as the league's most ardent marketing suitor. Alright, but at the same time, still unwilling to surrender Brandon Podziemski in a trade package for the 7-foot Finn. I think it's 7 foot. Golden State today has pursued marketing without including Podziemski or Jonathan Kuminga in trade packages, aligning with future draft compensation. Obviously, no team to this point has met Danny Ainge asking price. Ainge.
LaVine or Lauren Marketing, but we're going to do it for Jimmy Butler? We're laughing at the Kings. Hey, Chad, I got you on the screen now. We're laughing at the Kings. Sacramento, you're telling me that the...
Some 7-footers now, nigga. What the hell? It gets abundant now.
Bulls were able to get
they everywhere.
The Spurs got so much draft capital, in particular their own draft capital, and a bunch of Atlanta picks. You're telling me
the Spurs
real draft pick of substance.
Hey, they got a young team. It could be them in OKC. In the next couple of years, it could be them in OKC. Going back to back. Fighting each other year in, year out. It could be them too. I call it.
You got from a De'Aaron Fox trade was a 2031 you get your own pick back. The Bulls somehow were able to still get their pick back from San Antonio this year.
And they got a lot of talent.
Many people are going to run around and tell you how, Sacramento got 3 firsts. Again, for clarification, that Charlotte pick is lottery protected, will then turn into 2 second rounders.
Oh my.
And so they've really only got 2 firsts, one of which is from San Antonio in only 2 years, but you made them better, so it's not going to be a value. It's going to be a late first rounder, and you're crossing your fingers and hoping that Minnesota implodes on themselves, but that won't translate until 2031. You're telling me you're about to go out there with the roster that consists of what? Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Keegan Murray, Domantas Sabonis. Nigga, what is that? You just went from being 8th to 7th. And in the process of doing so, lost a younger player, a more valuable player, and still are in poverty. You made a lateral move and got someone in there that you don't even know is going to stay long term. You did nothing more but prolong the inevitable. You decided, instead of just blowing it up, instead of going after a Vassell, a Castle, more draft pick, instead of doing any of that, you rather stay mediocre. But I know why that is. Because every young player you get, every draft pick you get, you fuck it up. Every single last one.
Wow,
it's
so
been
much. Chill.
your track record for 16, now about to be 20 years. So I get it now.
20?
You live in it.
I guess
You
I ain't
bask
them.
in it. You got an address in it. You get mail in it. And it's nothing but poverty and mediocrity. The Sacramento
So much.
mediocres. That's your
kidding.
new team now. You thrive for 7 seeds. You march into 8 seeds. You celebrate first round exits because that's all it's ever going to be. It screams to me 44 wins, play-in tournament, first round exit, swept in the first round by OKC. It screams that. Breaking news!
OKC getting them up. I don't know.
Breaking news!
can't wait for the
Breaking
games, though.
news! And just when you think it couldn't
Games
get
could be
worse for the Warriors, it does. The Heat's Jimmy Butler has communicated to the Warriors that he's unwilling to sign an extension there, and therefore trade talks to send him to Golden State have ended for now. We just read with the report that the Warriors were in conversations to get Vooch and LaVine pulled out so they can focus on someone else.
Why though?
Now,
Don't make no
Windhorst is
sense.
telling us that Jimmy Butler has now communicated with them that he's not going to sign a contract extension. So we now know that they pulled out of the Zach LaVine sweepstake to go get Jimmy Butler, just for Jimmy Butler to tell them, even I'm not going to sign an extension there. I'll be honest with you, chat, the Warriors might actually be an even bigger loser in this transaction. The Warriors might be the biggest loser.
Nah, they gotta make
Lots
some
to
shit.
unpack
They
with
have
the
to.
Warriors would.
They have to do something. There's no way. They're like, they have to do something. The Warriors can't just not make no trades, nothing. Then they just have voted out. You gotta be if they don't do something.
Who attempted to make some big swings over the last 72 hours. Not only did they call for the Suns to get Kevin Durant, but they also held deep talks with the Bulls to get LaVine and Vooch. But then everything shifted towards Jimmy Butler. They went from Kevin Durant to Zach LaVine and Vooch to then voluntarily shifting to Jimmy Butler.
Why don't?
Just for him to.
Why do they want him so bad? Like, what do they see him?
And tell them, I'm not signing an extension. Last night, there was so much speculation and talk amongst teams and league personnel about if LeBron to the Warriors would become a real possibility. But now it appears that James is staying in LA. Golden State continues to be stuck in the mud when it comes to the trade deadline. I don't think I have ever in my life seen a franchise step up to the plate and swing and miss so many times in trying to add talent to a roster when there were so many obvious ways to doing so. So again, we got to go back. They had draft picks. Instead of trading them for veteran pieces, They decided not to. With those draft picks, they swung and missed on Wiseman instead of getting LaMelo. They swung and missed on
yeah, now look at that nigga LaMelo now. Going stoop, nigga. Cray. Damn. It's really crazy. LaMelo on Golden State. That actually being cool, man. See him and Steph. Nah, I ain't a Draymond about to fight, though. That's definitely a possibility, type shit. That's definitely a possibility.
Kuminga instead of getting Franz.
Yeah.
They swung and missed on Moody instead of getting Trey Murphy. All of that. That's 4 right there. Then this nigga punched the shit out of Jordan Poole. He's gone for Chris Paul. That's 5 right there. Then you had the ability to get Chris Paul for Zach LaVine during the offseason. You let him walk for nothing. That's 6 right there. Then you could have kept Klay Thompson and have him on the roster and just ride it out like you're about to basically ride it out to the sunset right now. You let him walk for basically nothing. That's 7 right there. Then after you told him, Klay Thompson, hey, we ain't got the money for you, but we'll give it to Paul George, then that fell apart. That's 8 right there. Then Larry Marketing was available for B-Pod. You said no to that. That's 9 right there. Then you're telling me...
Basically, now nigga Larry for that nigga Pods. I didn't make that. I ain't gonna lie. I get that they close to them and all. It's still a business, man. They gotta make something happen. We ain't more worried about Steph or Pods. Come on now.
I mean, you have Vooch and LaVine again. You said, no, I'm going to pivot to Jimmy Butler. That's 10 right there. Then Jimmy Butler told you, no. That's 11 right there. Then you got your hopes up for LeBron to the Warriors. That's 12 right there. Then you try to get Kevin Durant on the roster. He said no. That's 13 right there. Nigga, that's 13 attempts. 13 opportunities to add pieces next to Curry, all of which swung out. I'll be honest with y'all, bro. This is a trade where there is only one real winner. Like, the more and more I just think about it,
Spurs.
It's only one winner in this trade. It's the Spurs.
They hit a lick.
The Spurs got the point guard that they needed without giving up any young players, without really moving off of any draft picks. The Bulls traded a player that they should have been moved, but in return, the only thing they got in return for Zach LaVine is Zach Collins, Trey Jones, Kevin Huerter, and their own 2025 pick back. That's it. That bar is extremely low. Every team that was looking for LaVine, that's a package that you easily could have beaten, but now you're telling me the Warriors pull out of that deal to try to get Jimmy Butler, just for Jimmy Butler to then tell everybody, I'm not going to sign to your long term, so you better not trade for me. And then the Kings, trading De'Aaron Fox, only get really 2 first rounders, one of which is to San Antonio after you gave them the Spurs, after you gave them De'Aaron Fox, and another one doesn't translate to 2031, and you go from being mid to average.
Hey, good for the Spurs, man. They won. Yes. Hey, that's it for the video. Hope y'all niggas enjoy. I'm not. Peace out. See y'all niggas in the next one. No kizzy, nigga.